to end. You don't like what it's giving you. Let me tell you what I can do. If you need me to, I would kill for you. Kill for you. Kill for you. Kill for you.
Everybody, that was Mirage. Mirage. Stage name is Ricky. Sorry.
Yeah, keep it going for him. And thanks for coming out, everyone. I really appreciate it.
This is it. We're raising money for Mike's move.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No.
We're not doing that.
What are we raising money for?
We're raising money for Adapt tonight. Adapt is an amazing organization that does activist work on behalf of people with disabilities. It's also run by people with disabilities, so they have take total ownership of everything they do. And if you saw their protests of against Trump Care, they were really at the forefront of that. But you saw a lot of folks in wheelchairs, people with disabilities holding down different congressional offices and stuff like that. And then you saw police coming in and dragging them out. A lot of those protests were led by Adapt, and we were really inspired by that, so that's why we decided to, for Mike's going away party, celebrating Eat the Rich podcast, we want to donate money to them. So thanks so much for coming out. And our dude by the door who's collecting money, he'll take money from you if you want to give to them, so that would be really awesome.
And also, please buy a drink or however many from Sasha and tip her well. And she gave us the room for tonight, and that was awesome of her.
Yeah.
And
so we're super excited. We've got 5 or 6 great comedians, a couple of our favorite poets, a couple of our favorite singer-songwriters are going to perform, and this is going to be a really great way to toast Mike.
Yeah.
And everything he's brought to.
I said this was a kind of a going away thing to get people to come.
That's
to obligate you guys.
No, you wanted people here to honor you.
To honor me, yeah, you're right. I wanted free drinks and respect.
And he wants to be roasted. Tonight we're going to roast him.
I would love
on
that.
the spit. So if any time tonight you feel the need to roast Mike, just under the fire, you can just come up on stage. There's going to be no structure to the roast part of the evening. It's going to be just totally improvised.
And I also wanted to say how awesome it was to do the podcast. It was very cathartic for us and for everybody that listened. And Adam Lawson, who's performing tonight, Nick was on there. James Knowles is on.
James Knowles is here tonight, friend of the podcast.
And Ian Cox is here, and he was on the show. And it
raunchy
was,
episode with Ian.
It was a lot of amazing people. And all of the episodes are up. They are pretty topical, so they might be.
So they might be weird if you listen to them now, because you might go back and listen to the podcast episode about the inauguration and be like, big deal.
Yeah, true.
Who cares? We have bigger fish to fry now.
But this show, for everyone that's performing and everyone that's here, this show will be up online for everybody to watch. So that'll be fun to revisit.
Ooh. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I just have a short. Did we want to spitball about anything that's going on politically? Basically, everything is on fire. Winter's here, and the Night King is approaching the wall. Just take that as you may. It's kind of stressful to be a Game of Thrones fan and to just go back from Trump Twitter, Game of Thrones, Trump Twitter, Game of Thrones. I'm in full emergency mode at all times. But the great thing is that Jon Snow and the Dragon Queen will be having sex on Sunday night. So make sure you tune in for that. And you can check me out on Twitter. I'll be live tweeting that. No,
Isn't that going to be incest?
It may be, but in this fantasy world, it's all right. It's not a weird. There's no mores. It means you're gonna have an evil child who's gonna use the dragons in the next generation for bad. But at the time, if you're into it, it's cool. You can pretend that you're like the characters and that you don't know what's happening. I checked that. I checked that with my sources, and they said it was fine to be into the incest on the show. Okay, guys? All right. All right, anything else about incest?
I'm tapped out.
You're tapped out on that one? All right, whatever. So, okay. I just want to say, okay, we're going to hand it off and we're going to get to our first comic, but I just want to say that I love you very much. Thank you so much for doing the podcast with me. You're like the best guy ever. Mike's the kind of dude who, you know, sometimes on the podcast I'm explaining things about like feminism to him that he doesn't get, and Mike never takes it personally. He's never defensive. He takes what you say, he thinks about it, and then later he comes back and he's like, cool, that makes sense. Like, that's awesome. And that literally is like, you're like a unicorn in that way. And I really appreciate you. And I'm sad you're going to California, but, you know, like, whatever. So, just toast to Mike. I'm going to toast Mike. It's the beginning of the show, but let's toast to Mike Evans-Bonney for being a great partner and friend and comedian. All right?
Kind words. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Sure. Cheers. Cheers. All right, let's bring our first comedian up on stage. Mike Evans-Bonney, everybody.
Yeah. All right, comedian's extremely generous. It's actually been a while since I've done any stand-up. I used to do an open mic here, and I appreciate kind of ending ever doing stand-up again in the place where I thought I had ended doing stand-up ever again. So, all right. And again, guys, tip your bartender, get a lot of drinks, and let's, you know, get pretty crazy tonight because it's going to be some amazing performers. I can't believe how many people said yes to this. It's going to be awesome, and I promise it'll get better from here. So here it goes. All right. Am I the only one who thinks it's a little suspicious that Osama bin Laden is the only non-equity actor that got to vote on Best Picture the year Crash won? Am I the only person that's a little fishy on that? No? Okay. All right. How about this? You guys are conspiracy theorists, but I got one that's gonna just cinch it for you. Melania Trump, when she first started, when her husband was about to win, she said that her cause was going to be cyberbullying. And then, about a week later, a video came out, was leaked, of her reenacting the axe through the door scene from The Shining. And then, a week after that, she was making fart sounds with her hands during a 9/11 moment of silence. And then a week after that, she ended cyberbullying. So, I don't know, what have I done? What have I done? All right, yeah, so, all right. I don't mean to, let me Spider-Man explain something to you guys. All right, set the Mary Jane down for a second and let me, we can't even, this is how ridiculous PC culture's gotten. We can't even say the Earth's flat anymore. We can't body shame the Earth. That's how ridiculous it's gotten. That's how overly sensitive we've gotten. Jesus Christ. I'm crashing and burning so hard. All right.
Keep it going.
All right, I got 3 more.
1, 2, 3, count down.
Just letting you guys know that despite what we were all taught through the years, it is a complete myth that Hillary Clinton had wooden teeth. That's just not true. Shut your history books. It's not accurate. All right. I can't believe we're still debating about gay marriage and that that's still a hot button issue when America has 4 fathers. Can you? All right. I've been trying to kill myself for 6 years, but I keep rereading the suicide note, and it's not quite there yet. All right, that's it. Yeah. All right. And coming in scorching hot, give it up, everyone, for the amazing, and buy his book as well, Adam Lawson. Give it up one more time for Mike Epifani. What a note to leave Chicago on.
Yeah.
Your unedited suicide notes.
I took the brown line here. What a fucking misnomer that is. I was the only thing brown on that fucking train. I got on the brown line and I was like, fuck. I didn't know that the brown line stopped in Charlottesville. I didn't know that this was a stop on this train. The brown line looked as if someone took Frosty the Snowman's magical hat, and instead of putting it on a snowman that would become a lovable, singing, dancing, sentient being, they put that magic hat on a J. Crew magazine, and the entire brown line became khaki-clad, tiki-torch Nazis.
Yeah.
It was fucking rough. If Hitler woke up from his cryogenic sleep, if Hitler woke up from his cryogenic sleep on the brown line, he'd go, "My God, we won!"
You're right.
Right? I see a lot of brown line users. And you don't think that's funny, it's how I can tell my home in Irving Park. That you live in the Third Reich. My apologies. Ooh, fuck you. Alright, that was toxic. I don't know why I said fuck you. I want to talk to you for a minute about toxic things, such as toxic masculinity. It exists, right? There's nothing as vile and dangerous and just corrosive to humanity than misplaced masculinity, right? I once got into an argument with this fucking dickhead. He was like, well, listen, man, toxic femininity, that's a thing too. And I was like, you're fucking dumb, because it ain't, right? There's nothing that women do as a whole that is as destructive as what men do, except drive. Oh, just kidding. Toxic masculinity is real, and I experienced it on myself a few days ago. It was raining, and I was going to work, and I was like, fuck, it's raining. I should get my umbrella. And then as I turn around back to my house, a voice in my head goes, you fucking pussy. What are you fucking gay? You getting an umbrella? Shit, I'm not pussy. What are you fucking gay or something? And I'm like, I'm not gay or nothing. I'm not getting home yet. And like, what about umbrellas in my head made me want to, like, you know, accost myself, right? Like, I wonder, like, you know, back in the fucking Mesozoic era, right? And there's cavemen, right? And it's a fucking monsoon, and there's a bunch of cavemen, and they're under fucking leaves, you know what I mean? It's fucking raining, and they're like, oh, this fucking sucks, saber tubes and shit or whatever. We gotta look out for dysentery. And then one, and a dysentery somewhere. And there's one caveman who's like, fuck that, I'm going out in the rain, you know what I mean? And then all the hunters and the gatherers, or rather the berry gatherers, are like, oh, Krog is a badass, dude. You see that? Krog doesn't even have a fucking leaf over him. He's just out in the rain, you know what I'm saying? He's got his club, he's a badass, and all the other cave women men go out there and like, oh fuck, I'm gonna breed with Krog. He doesn't have giving me that, brother. He's not fucking stupid like the rest of you warm, dry cavemen. Am I right, folks? Alright, fuck it, I'm gonna tell a story, right? I did write a book, as Renee mentioned. I'm not even gonna do it. I did write a book. As Renee mentioned, it's pretty cool. I gave it to my father before I released it. And he read it. He dug it, or rather, he dug it as much as a 72-year-old Vietnam veteran with undiagnosed PTSD can. Is that good? I'm sorry, what was that woo for?
It was for his service to our
Was it for
country.
Vietnam?
It was for
Oh, you
his
guys still,
service.
okay, thank you.
His service.
Anti-Ho Chi Minh group. But yeah, so he dug it. But there was one story that he instructed me to edit out of it, and I'm gonna tell you guys that story today. When I was a young lad of 7, 8, and or 9, I didn't know the gender setups.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Thought everyone had my setup, which, thank you for not assuming my gender, is a wee-wee. Had a ding-ding and a set of plums. All right? Thought everyone had that. I didn't know. you know, one of two things you could do, or I guess there's multiple things you could do. I guess I don't fucking know. I didn't go to. So I have a ding ding and 2 plums. I thought everyone had a ding ding and 2 plums. And I thought that sex, because I had watched Cinemax and late night stuff, I thought that sex was when you suck a dick and you drink the pee and then you cuddle.
Yeah.
I thought that. And yeah, exactly. Not what sex is. I found out later, like a few days ago. And I remember, I don't know if you guys remember the show All That. There was this very attractive girl in All That. I forgot her, she was fucking Italian or something. And I was so enthralled with this woman's beauty that in my 7 or 8-year-old head, I would suck this girl's dick and drink her pee, right? And I thought that's what sex was. I want to love this woman. I want to be with her intimately. I'm going to suck her dick and drink her piss. I'm not a prude or nothing, you know what I mean? You know, I'm not a saint. And it didn't stop at the hot girl from All That. It was Michelle Pfeiffer. Michelle Pfeiffer was getting the blowjob from 7-year-old me. Clueless Stacey Dash, not post 2014 insane Stacey Dash. She was getting her dick sucked, definitely. Who else was I blowing? I really, really liked Sailor Moon, and that was cool. She had a cartoon dick. You guys are fans of cartoon dicks? Cartoon dicks fans? All right. I'll close out this amazing goodbye set for Mike.
Thank you.
My dad tried to explain the birds and the bees to me later on in life. We didn't have the best relationship growing up. There was a huge rift. Again, he's 72, Vietnam vet. He smoked weed once, and he said he hated it because he couldn't. It like brought him out of control. And you know, when I was 15, me and my friend Kyle Beckley bought an 8-ball of drywall from a kid named Terrence. We think it was coke, and we did it in the back of Spanish class. So there's a big, that's on footage now. Hey, what's up? So there's a big rift in between my father and I. And he recently, this is no bullshit, he recently tried to explain, because he read my book and he knows I'm in fucking trouble. He recently tried to explain the birds and the bees to me. And he goes, Adam, women are a lot like remotes. And I go, I'm maybe not like my dad anymore. And I'm like, what, do you sometimes forget them in the kitchen? And then you come to the couch for them? What are you getting at, Father? He said, no, women are like remotes in the sense that all the buttons are the same. You got the power, the on and off, and the volume and the channel. But all the buttons are just placed differently. And it might take you a while to find where the buttons are. And I was like, Dad, that was almost smart. Almost poetic and, you know, beautiful. But where's Mom? I don't know. There's no end to that, so thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam. Keep it going for Adam. Adam's super hot book called Riding Buses with Animals.
Incorrect.
No, Animals on Buses.
That's correct.
Okay, Adam's book's called Animals on Buses, and you can get it on the internet, wherever you can get books on the internet, namely Amazon. So that's a big place where you can get Adam's book. Check it out. Okay, so the next topic we're going to bring up is a nice lady. Very excited. Everybody keep it going for Shira Mizel.
Going for Mike and for Adam, really bending the stand-up form with this radical saying. We're changing the guys. My name is Shira. Just like
I'm so sorry.
Oh no, that wasn't at you. My name is Shira, which is the Hebrew word for she doesn't look that Jewish. My ex-boyfriend is a real loser. He's currently trying to be a rapper. Grow up. I gave up that dream in June. My ex is a real loser. He was once arrested for shoplifting fake diamond earrings from Claire's. For himself, like not even for me. I think a good rule of thumb is if you're gonna go down, don't let it be by the hand of a mall cop, right? It's like, boy, you have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to one Wetzel's pretzel. But just one, I'm not playing around. 2 hands on the Segway. My ex is a real loser. There was this point in our relationship where I really wanted to break up, and he knew it. Because he gets another tattoo. You ready for this? Loyalty, right over his heart. I was like, why'd you get that? And he goes, because it's most important. I was like, it's up there for sure. But I think resilience is more important. Maybe get that tattooed above loyalty, huh? Maybe thriftiness above that. For good measure, throw in team player, he wouldn't even need a resume. Right? Like when the interviewer is like, so what qualities make you ideal for this position? He could just lift his shirt. And the guy would be like, welcome to Spencer's Gifts. Then he'd have a job. A friend of mine recently told me that I'm love avoidant. She's like, Shira, you gotta let someone peel away the layers and love the real you. I was like, that's astute. Except that the real me throws away panties because I'm too lazy to treat period stains. I don't know if that's wifey material. She has a point. You know, to experience love, you gotta put yourself out there. Date, maybe get rejected. I think that's hard. You know what's easy is hooking up drunk under someone's Big Lebowski poster. Right? I'd rather doggy style while holding eye contact with a poster of Jeff Bridges than be vulnerable. Like, I told 2 people I held my grandfather's hand as the numbers on the hospital machines dropped to 0. But I've given 22 people hand jobs. Right, guys? Like, this pussy can take a pounding. But touch my soul and I'll break. It's so easy to penetrate a body hole, right? Like, the walls we put up are bulletproof. You know? Like, if condoms are made out of social barriers, HPV would have some street cred. There's like a couple years back that was just nearly unheard of. You know, it had some mystique to it. But now, like, it's everywhere. You can't escape it. It's like the Ed Sheeran of STDs. Sex is easy. Drugs are real easy. Riddle me this one, guys. My friend does acid, realizes there's beauty in nature, went back to 9. I do heroin, start sleeping in nature, everybody's sad. I am a heroin addict. It surprises people because it looks like I had Go-Gurt and Pop-Tarts for dinner. Looks like I think heroin is a song by Lana Del Rey. It's true, you guys. I even overdosed. But don't worry, I'm fine. The overdose kind of whatever. Like I wasn't even awake for it. I don't do heroin anymore because Game of Thrones got too hard to follow. But sometimes I still get cravings. Now, craving heroin, it's a lot like missing an ex. Where you're just going about your day and something happens, and it just reminds you of the good times. Like Hotel California comes on the radio. Or you smell something cooking. You're flipping through channels, you land on Intervention. You're like, that was our show. You just have to quickly remember the bad times. Just like, do you remember what you were like with him? You looked like shit. Your family wouldn't talk to you. All your spoons were fucked up. Most importantly. And then you just cry to single ladies and you go about your day. That's what you do. So to help with the cravings, I take an opiate maintenance drug, which is helpful, kills the cravings, but when it wears off, I go through withdrawal. So yesterday, by the time I was in Walgreens to fill my prescription, I already had the sweats, right? So picture this. I'm waiting to purchase drugs to kind of get through the day. It's eerily similar to trying to score dope, right? Like, it's like the exact same. The only difference is my dealer is Scarlet in a white coat and not Skittles in a wife beater. Like, also, Skittles would never make me fuck with a chip card reader. You know what I mean? I still walk down memory lane a little bit. After high school, my brother and I were getting ready to backpack around India, and our mom mounted a strong opposition. The strongest we'd seen since 2002's Operation Don't Get a Snake. She thought my brother would be fine, but I would be sold into the sex trade. It's a little sexist, right? Like, why isn't my brother also going to be a sex slave? He's very fuckable. Like, I'm not just saying that to prove a point. He's got green eyes, a college degree, and his dad's body. My mom said I couldn't go on the trip unless I took a women's self-defense class, which was interesting because she was going to let me go to college without self-defense, but not other countries. As in, women are in grave danger abroad, but totally safe at college. In America, we're on board. I feel pretty safe around statues of the Buddha. Cannot say the same for pyramids of empty beer cans. Right? Like, the jungle's dangerous, but so is jungle juice. Why are we worried about men in India? There are 9 frat boys in my econ class. Tanner S, Tanner M, Walker Hutt, Reed, Dylan, Tillin, Cody, and Kyler. Do those names make you feel safe? No. Sounds like a bunch of Paul Ryan interns. Kyler, I believe that is a Latin word for Zodiac Killer. K-Y-L-E-R, you want to get fingered, stay where you are. It sounds like it's like a poem, the way you're reacting. I really wanted to go on the trip, so I agreed to take the class. My mom rounds up this all-star team of other Jewish moms and daughters. The following Sunday, we get to the dojo, and the mood is light. Like, yeah, we're all about to learn what to do in the event of assault, but then it is straight to the Cheesecake Factory. Like, what does that table conversation even sound like? Just like, this Oreo dream is a dream. I hope I never have to blind him out with my fingers. I'm leaving on this one. I remember we went into the dojo. There were like some inspiring posters. You know, a black belt is a white belt that never gave up. Yeah, well, a white sensei is a med student that did give up. I'm leaving on that. You've been super fun. Good night.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Yes. That was great. I wish that everyone got to sit next to Renee for that one. Like, she loved that. All right, guys. Next up at the stage, good friend of mine. Give it up for James Knowles.
Thank you very much for that intro, Mike. Also, thank you so much for what you said at the top of the show. That was so sweet. Thanking us all for coming out tonight. It made me feel very special. Also made it sound like I have literally anything else going on in my life, which is not true. This is it. This is the reason I'm dressed in pants tonight. That's the only thing that got me out. Like, and this isn't even like these pants are dirty pants. They're covered in mud. From Lollapalooza. That's how little I wear pants. I have nothing going on. But you made me feel so special. Call me. Yes, I put aside everything for you, Michael. Epifani, to say goodbye to you. I do need to wash my pants. If anybody knows how to get mud stains out of jeans, let me know, please. What, tie? Does it really work that well? All right, I have the little tie pen. I'll give it a shot. Thank you, sir, for your participation. That'll do for the audience participation of the program. Everybody. Unless, I don't know, it might be better than your stone silence, especially from this side. Like that, see? Don't worry. I'll get you two by the end. Don't you worry there.
Just got off a plane.
Really? Wow. I just got off a train. We're already making connections through rhyme. It's very exciting.
Mirage.
It's a minute. Hey, what'd I say, sir? Over. Your portion is over. You helped me with the tide. Now you're getting a little cocky. I don't like that. I don't like that. You'll have your 8 minutes the next time Mike leaves Chicago. Now it's my turn. I put in years for this. And pants. That's what I put in. All right. Am I getting the light? Am I almost done? All right. No, okay. So, yeah, it's people are getting a little political up here tonight, which makes sense. Eat the Rich is the podcast sponsoring us this evening. Very political podcast.
Political.
Yeah, everybody's interested in politics now, which is sort of like a silver lining of the Trump presidency, if there is one. Also, I gotta say, for all of the man's faults, it's very impressive Donald Trump's ability to warp the space-time continuum. That is internally impressive to me, because that man, like, do you remember what was going on in the world 7 days ago? 7, that's it. 1 week into the past, that's all. I have no idea what happened between now and then. Were we on the brink of nuclear war 7 days ago? I thought I remember something about, was that before Charlottesville? Literally, I have no idea. Had we landed on the moon? Where are we anymore? I don't know. It's insane, the breakneck speed and crazy that we're going. It's nuts. Just insane, but we're along for the ride. Yippee! Yeah. Trump administration does not like immigrants. I love immigrants. I'm a huge fan of immigrants, especially, it's mostly for stupid reasons. I'll admit that. I'll be straight up front with you. It's dumb stuff. Like, when I'm on the CTA, when I'm on my train, or a plane, in the rain. That really took me off track there. Right off course. All right, we're gonna bring it back. So when I'm on the train, I love when foreigners are coming to Chicago and they ride public transportation. Because, earlier this month, I was on the train and I overheard a conversation by this Irish girl. She was calling home. I overheard it because I was eavesdropping on her conversation on the train, because I like to do that to people. And it was just amazing. As I was listening to her, she was speaking English, but it was beautiful. The Irish accent for the English language is amazing. The type of texture and color you can add to a language just with an accent is mesmerizing. She was just calling home, and it sounded beautiful. It was so lyrical. She was just, oh, thank you, darling. It's been just lovely talking to you. All my best to everyone back home. And I was enchanted by this woman. It was beautiful. I could have listened to her for days, just reading the phone book. It just was magical. Just everything she said just sounded like a lovely Irish ditty. Just everything. That's everything I could hear, just in that beautiful accent. And it's not always beautiful what we do with accents and language. Like the American accent, but that's still English, and it's awful what we've done to that. Just terrible. We treat English the same way we treat our food. We just pervert it and process it until it makes no sense, and it's just garbled, lazy crap that it's no business near anyone's mouth. But we're just, America's the first country. That's what we're doing with it. And in Chicago, it's even worse. In Chicago, because we're meat packing people. So we physically gnaw on the language with our accent. It's Chicago. Go Cubs.
I didn't even understand it.
Sorry, you would have laughed the same amount as you understood the words coming out of my mouth. It's fine. I'm starting to give up on you guys. I'm a man of faith, but after, I don't know. This is the best. These are the ones going right down the plate. You won't even look at me to ignore me. That's devastating, sir. Don't you you know? My feelings have never been hurt as a comedian. How will I go on? I'll go on. I'll keep being 30 years old. That's what I'll do. I'm a 30-year-old man now. That's a thing. That's a thing that I am. Don't fucking don't. No, I didn't say that for applause. It's not. 30 is not an applause-worthy age. 30 is just like. 30 is like I'm discovering. Like 30 is not souped-up 20. 30 is just light 40. Like that's what 30 is. And that's where I'm at. Like I'm at a place where physically things are just starting to mess up. Just like it's weird. Like I used to play with my balls. That used to just be a thing. It wasn't even like a sexual thing. I'd just be laying on the couch and they'd be there and you fondle. They're like Benoit balls. It's contemplating. That's all I'm doing. I don't have balls anymore though. I have testicles that need to be checked according to my doctor's orders. It takes all the fun out of it. Even when I'm like not supposed to be. Every time I'm touching them, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm in this endless game of hide and seek, and if I ever win, that ball's gotta go. And I'm gonna go right now. Thanks a lot, everybody. You guys have been great. Except for you. Now you are.
Alright.
Tell him.
Thanks so much, James.
Sorry about your ball anxiety. Sorry about James's ball anxiety. All right, let's keep it going for James' great set. I'm so excited to bring up our next comic. It's Laura, everybody. Is it Laura? Okay, Laura.
Thank you. Okay, great. Oh, nice. Laura Hugg is what she was. Okay. Since you're probably going to put this online, Laura Hugg, available for kids' parties. I just want you guys to know, if you haven't seen Mike do stand-up, that whole thing about I haven't done stand-up in a while and I apologize is what he says every time he does a set. So give it up for him. LA is lucky to have him. I said, oh yeah, I didn't know you were leaving. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to be a comic. Like I was going to say, you know, all right, anyway. You all know him, so. I just moved. I used to live in Old Town, very nice neighborhood, but it had its own problems. Like I would go to sleep and I never knew if I was going to wake up and have my car replaced by a wine festival. So, now I live near Wicker Park, which has a lot of charm. It's a charming looking neighborhood. It looks like Santa's village if it were hit by the opioid crisis. Now we're here in Wrigleyville, and I've been around Wrigleyville ever since I moved here, and I'm always sorry when I have to come back. Although I like to think this is sort of a little haven, but I have a little song actually I'd like to sing if I could do. Just a quick, James was talking about Irish ditties, so here's a song that I wrote in honor of Wrigleyville. It's called Irish Bar. Let me see if I can think of it. Oh shit, I've forgotten it. All right, when I think of it, I'm going to just burst into song. Irish Bar. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about, the one thing I did like about this neighborhood was, I used to go in this building, I used to go to the Chicago Women's Health Center, which was a place where women could they would have family planning and sliding scale gynecological exams. And so I used to come here before I had insurance. And I really liked getting my exams because they were so kind and gentle, and everything was like wood paneling from the 70s because everything was donated and they couldn't afford to upgrade, which is really great when they're going to go into your vagina. And they had like little fuzzy covers on the stirrups, you know, on the feet of the stirrups, which I'm sure one of the volunteers knitted, you know, and they were just super nice and like. But the one thing about the Chicago Women's Health Center is they would encourage you to be a part of the exam, right? They like you to be involved. And frankly, too much involvement is how I landed in a lot of exams of that nature. So, but like I remember, she was like, she goes to me with a hand mirror and she was like, "Would you like to see your vagina?" And I was like, no, but I am willing to talk to it on the phone. And then she said, "Would you like to insert your own speculum?" And I was like, well, I didn't bring it. I was hoping I could use one of yours, So, and I also went to counseling there too. So they used to have counseling for women, which is, so basically I got like a new age version of being spit roasted. So, okay, that went, all right, that was, okay, yes, thank you. That was supposed to be my hip, young, like, pornographic reference. I never, I started doing comedy, I was over 30 when I started doing comedy, and there was a lot of younger comics, so, and I'm on the cusp of, technology, right? I'm Generation X, and I remember print medium. So when I started working around all these comics, I did not know about all the free pornography that was available to just anybody, anywhere, right? Like when I worked at a coffee shop and they would be looking at porn, in the coffee shop and stuff like that. So, I remember, Playgirl magazine in print. You might remember Playgirl. So here's an example. This was like what they had for women, it was men. So the centerfold, I remember the one Playgirl that I actually looked at was a centerfold of a guy, and this was the 80s, and it is true, they did shave everything. And so some hairless man was working on a car. That's how I knew right away that it was staged, because I've never seen a hairless man work on a car. Anyway, so this guy, the setup is, here he is in his, what now would be called Daisy Dukes, these shorts, with his shirt open, working on the car, and he's like, "I'm just so hot, working on this car. I know, I'm sweating even though I have not a hair on me except for my coiffed hairdo. And I'm just gonna sit down on the wall." So he sits down and he puts his hands up on his knees and he kind of looks seductively into the camera. And the big reveal, right, is his dick is hanging out of his shorts. And I'm like, that is not sexy. That is every awkward moment I've ever had with somebody's, my aunt's boyfriend at a cookout, This is what we have, So then I was surprised to learn about, MILF porn, right? Which I learned about, yeah, thank you. Technically, I guess, I was fooling around with this guy who was younger than me, right? So he wanted to look at some porns, I'm like, all right, he's like, let's look at MILF porn. And I was like, and I still, even with all my vast knowledge that I have gotten from my fellow comics over the years I've been doing stand-up, I was not familiar with all the categories. And so I'm like, MILF porn, he goes, mother types, older. Technically, I'm SPILF porn, because I don't have any children, so, and I've never been married, so I'm putting that into the lexicon. Spinsters I'd like to fuck, there it is. So anyway, I'm like, but MILF porn, that sounds actually kind of charming, does it? Kind of sweet, porn that says, hey, come on over and bring your laundry, porn that makes sure you have warm coat and something to eat. MILF porn, the only porn that has to tell you you're pretty. So, I would like to introduce a new category of porn. It's called, it's kind of radical. It's called doing it in a comfortable bed. Where did that go? What happened to that? It's some poor woman who's naked in the baking sun in the middle of the day, with nothing but an awkward accessory and 12-inch heels, and she's got one leg propped up on a grill that, know, that like hamburgers are frying on, you know. She's dangerously close to like a bottle of lighter fluid, you know. And she probably just paid for her boobs. Man, it's just a different world. Actually, when I had sex with that guy, it was the only time that I've ever gotten, I've ever gotten a wax, I waxed, you know, because this guy was coming over and I'm like, I'm going to do something different, you know, we're going to have this casual sex, right? So I went to the waxer, that's what I called it too, it was very adult, super sexy as I sucked all the spontaneity out of the situation. I had to coordinate my schedule, I didn't want to miss a workout, I'm a Weight Watchers, you know, there's activity point. So I go to this, I get a Brazilian wax. I didn't know what else, I didn't know what shape to pick, so I went Brazilian. It's the only time I've left the country, so. And I remember she was like, you know, so we're talking a few decades worth of pubic hair, and it, you know, if you know, that sounds like a tour bus full of old people taking off those big white shoes. It was a lot of Velcro ripping and screaming. And the waxer, she said, wow. It's a lot of hair. It's like working on a grizzly bear. I said, really, am I that hairy, or is it because I caught that salmon in my teeth in the stream? So, you should always bring your esthetician lunch. But anyway, I'll just leave you with this, the end of my night. We were fooling around, and the guy's like, I want to role play with you. I'm like, all right, what do you want to do? And he goes, I want you to play bad mommy. And I said, all right. So I obliged him. And in the middle of the night, when he was asleep, I left him all alone and went out with my friends. Sexy! All right, I'm Laura Hugg. Sorry, I'll have to give you a private rendition of Irish bars. I'm coming. Private rendition of Irish bars. I'm coming.
Thank you so much, Laura. Keep it going, guys. Keep it going. That was Laura Hugg. So good. And Laura actually rounds out our first section, which is stand-up. Now we're going to bring it down a little bit for you folks with some poetry and some music. Yeah, that's right. And to start things off is my best friend for a very, very long time, and he's got some amazing poetry for you guys. And just, you know, give it up for Mr. Sean Selbach, everyone. Sean Selbach.
Hi, how's it going? So thank you, Mike. I have known Mike for a long time. We've been friends since like 3rd grade, but we've known each other since 1st grade. I don't know why I didn't really like him in 1st grade. I can't really figure it out. All I remember is he had these things called Good Boy stars on his desk. And he had 5 of them. And if they all got taken away, he had a note sent home. So sometimes I would just go and knock them off. And be like, I was raised really well. So the first poem is about, inspired by, can everybody hear me? Yeah. Okay, the first poem is inspired by being raised Catholic and having to go to Mass every Sunday, to the point where I would rather fake sick for Mass than school. It was like, all right, at least I get a Sunday to myself. So it's called White Christ for White Lives. Just the very idea of black Jesus could have brought me back to the gospel. Facts like that, paraded in front of those pearly pews, would have done wonders for my faith. If truth was on the schedule for yesterday's Mass, I would have stuck around to fact check, but they were history inventors, adjusters of actions already unfolded, manipulators of man, murderers of matriarchs. The holy word and world revealed itself as simply speech, so I snuck out the side door after sacrament. If this be a house of God, why don't we listen to his offspring, or at least paint him as if he spent some time in the sun? Okay, this next one is a little bit longer. It's about just kind of being like, what's going on? It's called, right? We've all been there. It's called The Word for It. Sometimes I forget who I am, tangled tight into the self, inside myself, around a self. I forget who was first. I forget there's a portrait people are seeing and a separate I am painting. I forget I have a name and that it must be spelled. I carry so many me's and never learned how to use them. Same blonde, different roots. The me working, the me at work, the me with those I know and love and can't. The me with a stranger, the me with strangers. The one who likes me, the one who doesn't, the one who now believes and the one who never did. The one who can feel all right and the one who can only feel wrong and the one without time to figure it out. These me's fight over my mouth like ants on an ice cream cone stained concrete. They crowd the tip of my tongue, demanding time. I see branding irons, yellow as the sun, pressing into my peripherals. They lurch down my throat with a fist and call it home. Sometimes I'm so caught up in how to exhale, I forget I have to swallow. Lose control of my flesh and bone, trying to recall. I've forgotten who me is so often. Forget may not be the word for it. Because sometimes I forget, but sometimes I can't figure out which one. The me that feels like me and the one who's so sick of reflection. The me that can't spell my name without wailing. The me in the sun and the me who lives off the moon. The me I see in the mirror and the me on the other side of my tired eyes. The me who wrote this and the me who won't look at it. The me who uses pens. The me who uses marker. The me who tears his nails off and finger paints. All these breeds named me, and not one with the decency to ask how I feel. Thank
Yeah, keep it going, keep it going.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up to the stage, guys, you might know him from all over the city, from the intro to Eat the Rich, and guys, give it up for Ricky Mirage.
Everybody, do a couple of songs. This works. It's really, really state-of-the-art sound system.
Good working overtime. Can't say my days are truly mine. Sell my life, pay the right bill. Stays I'm living the job, 'cause I can't see you. Call me, darling, call me when you're free. I'll be working for eternity. It would be so nice to hear your sweet soft voice on the telephone. So call me. I'm sure if I crack through the wall, wish you won't stop until next fall. Where are you now? I need you. Oh, last night you're working through. What are we to do?
Usually here's a full band, and we're actually playing. Do a little plug here. Actually playing next Friday at Cafe Mustache. So, I like what you hear. Just gonna do one more. Thanks, Mike and Renee, for having me. And hats off to you, Mike, and good luck to you as you head to your new location.
Fuck you, Mike.
Great adventure. And also, a fuck you. This is an old song for me. I haven't done it.
Bandcamp at rickymirage.bandcamp.com. So please check those out if you get the chance. But yeah, we're going to bring up another poet. My good friend Shannon, some great news about Shannon. She recently got her visa approved to come to Canada. So give her a big round of applause for being a big old immigrant. That's awesome. Okay, everybody, Shannon's going to do some poems, and she just released a chapbook. Where can people get your chapbook?
Big Cartel.
Big Cartel? Like if you search Shannon Runka?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if you search Shannon Runka, you can get her new chapbook. And what's it called?
America Runs Through Me Till I Foam.
Oh, it's called America Runs Through Me Till I Foam at the Mouth, which is obviously about how much she loves America. Get it? Okay. So come on up, Shannon. Everybody big round of applause.
Renee took all my funny dance so hold on. Here you go. Thanks. There you go. Okay. So I'm just going to read a few poems from this. The first one is called Patina. Sun-baked, stuck on, lead pipe. All that's calcified, love for you. Big bones poised perfectly, perforated on occasion. Chewed meat stuck between rigid gum lines. Face pointed upwards, always moving towards the sun. You don't have to clap in between. It's kind of a weird transition. You don't know when I'm going to stop. The next one. It's called Antigone in the Garden. Tulips gash, pink turn sour flower. He likes being nowhere around me. My hatred blushed, ripped, scattered, bloomed, moving in gimmicky waves across America. There are no small victories here. Thank you. The last one is a little bit long, and it's called Rabbit Animal Lazy Eye. Suspect feelings reside here, living condom wrappers, suspended midair, left over in water glasses. As a kid, I had a lazy eye that swung itself soft in its socket, not patched it up in time for school each day, a filmy bandage that looked like the moon under thick circle glasses. They fixed that eye straight, yet I still can't see the hard edges that make up other people, that borders their rage, blurs. You over me today, like yesterday, every day beginning in each other, breaking through me without much effort or force, sometimes cobbled between gaps and turns. Still never can I see myself up close. All that I feel is pelagic in nature. It was never hard to love you, just hard to sustain brute force, but nicely I do. And to the others that came after you, unable to find their sea legs, I send them remorse, but I can't be held responsible for them swimming away. I make my hands into fists when I see what's been done to my body over time. What I've allowed, I can count. What I've lost, I won't gain back. When I see his metal smile and his broken nose and his ironic punk haircut, bike tires and your beat up old boots, the necklace I lost, he says isn't under his bed, though my fingers don't believe it and stretch along the wood to check. Truly, I think I loved you all. This is understated conviction. I've become unmoored from my post, rabid animal, lazy eye, marred deeply by another that made it out okay. I can't imagine what it felt like before I came to this place. At a barbecue with a bug in my hair, a girl he would like to sleep with tells me about the dogs they've buried in the backyard. Their skeletons reawaken when we sleep, like a joke I'm not in on. I would like to kiss her too. Breathe in a way that is gracious and kind. You pull your left ear whenever I say things you don't like. I like the gesture, but not its cause. When I walk home, my head's so low, I kiss all things I can see crawling on the cement. You tell me it's bad luck to talk to God, that when he comes, I'll fear his bite. The only thing I fear is constant cruelty. When you move close to me, you say my time is going to come, but you feel nothing of what I carry. My favorite part about myself is stretched across an ocean in a car parked somewhere in the Midwest, out on a 4-day bender, resides in the mouth of another, any other. He said he'd give it back to me in another country. You stay guilty, but I am responsible for your ambivalent touching and lukewarm disorders that elaborate the absence of noise. For all changes and charges that accrue on my credit card, public pools are filled with lonely children who've spilled out of bellies accidentally, but I am not lonely when you hum me a tune. At night, I am immaterial space. I am yours, 2 legs, and you help me grow again. There is naive joy in finding comfort in another and their absurd rituals of mind intimacy. They will always find ways to use and deplete you, to outgrow your body and leave you, repair the damage, unsplit the cell. You are only radical with a frenzy of impure thoughts, fight men in the dark when you feel nothing but that all-familiar splinter of gratitude for the bones they throw. Being soft doesn't serve you like it ever does them. That's it. Thank you.
Keep it going for Shannon, guys. That was awesome. Something about poetry, I just like, and music too, but you just, the more you listen to it, the more you like, just makes you sink in. It's amazing. I wish I could write it. All right, guys, next up, another musician, an amazing musician, and good friend, Luke Otwell. Luke Henry.
I believe that. This is part of my show, everybody. Sorry, it will only be a moment. You guys can talk amongst yourselves in the next few moments if you want. I'll be right there. Thanks. Okay, guys, stop talking. Who said you could talk? So I'm Luke Henry. I'm a musician. I'm very important. Those levels are right. Make sure those levels are right. I want to play some music for you guys. Thanks, Mike, for having me, and Renee, and the Eat the Rich podcast.
Yeah.
This is so great. I'm excited to be on the internet. I'm going to be on the internet, right? Okay, cool. Look out for me on the internet. called an instrumental. It's when you don't sing. I know Mike from college. I miss college. No, I don't. I'll miss Mike though. Sometimes me and Mike will show each other what we're working on, and I'll help him edit some stuff sometimes. Or I'll read his stuff and tell him that it's okay sometimes. Which was why I'm disappointed about the suicide note. I feel like we could have had this taken care of a long time ago. But it's okay. You're moving away, so it's alright. Suicide would have been nice, but I'll take you away. Sorry, you said you wanted it to be a rush. You said you wanted it to be a rush. You want it, right? This is a cover. It's called Mike, Kill Yourself, Don't Move to LA. It's just, I found the right song for the right occasion. It's a cover. This is called Timber Timber, or it's called Hot Dreams by Timber Timber. make this guitar work. Friday at the Virgin Hotel on the 25th floor. Yeah, they're paying us $500,000. But yeah, that should be fun. That's with the full band. It's a little different because it's got a full band. There's 3 more people. But yeah, I'm gonna do one more for y'all. Thanks for listening. I have records for sale. If you buy them for twice as much as they're worth, I'll give half the money to the fundraiser.
There he is.
This one's called Clean Out My Head. Don't you talk about your problem, because I got them. You understand, so just body and
Keep it going for Lou Gottlieb, right? Yeah. Yes. Okay, guys. Next up to the stage, an amazing poet and a family member, really, at this point. Give it up, guys, for Robin Fine. What? Oh, okay.
Hi, everybody. Can I have everybody's attention for just a minute? Yeah. I'm really sad that my niece is going away, but Michael, you have Avram and I to answer to. If I get one call, you will not see the light of day. So it's not just Samantha's mother, Nancy. It's me too. Oh, no. Okay, hi everybody. My name is, it's a little nerve-wracking being up here, but, okay, I can do this. I know I can do it. My name is Robin, and I'm here today to tell you that I'm an addict. Is that it? I'm an addict. I am that pincushion longing for every prick. A rabid dog with liquid dreams of gold running through its veins. The feral cat searching for the last bit of catnip. I am in love with a thing. Mama always craved store-bought, grandma only homegrown. She would say, sugar, if you can't taste that deep, dark South American jungle dirt on the tip of your tongue, then your stash just ain't no good. You see, I'm an addict. Heart pounding like a racehorse in heat. Hair rises up to me. Goosebumps, razor blade nerves slice through muscles. I must feed this day. That sweet pungent odor permeates my lungs. If I could breathe it instead of air, I would. Hands always shaky and clammy. I want to paint my body with it. And I came here today to tell you that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the leftover chocolate wrappers. I'm sorry for the ant infestation under the bed, for leftover chocolate wrappers. I'm sorry for selling all your bowling trophies to pay for last year's Halloween chocolate. Those brown spots on your ass, the chocolate I took to bed with me last night. I'm sorry for stealing all the Valentine's Day chocolate and blaming the cleaning lady. You see, chocolate does not hit. It paints over the bruise marks. It fills the empty void between heart and soul. Chocolate does not judge when you screw up. Yes, I am an addict. I must feed that hunger every single day. My hands always shaky and clammy. Fireworks exploding in my belly. Brain cells screaming and dancing. Oh, how... Does anybody have a Butterfinger? How about a Mars bar? I mean, come on, chocolate is chocolate. Wait a minute. I have $1. Okay, someone has got to have. Work with me, people. I need my chocolate. Wait. I have a $5 bill. Someone's got to have some chocolate. I mean, just last week, I went looking for Mr. Goodbar. Mars told me he would make me sing just like a symphony. I told him he was jock full of nuts. Mrs. Fields offered me Ben and Jerry's. They offered me kisses, thought they could score, but their game was slower than turtles. Rollo offered up his chunky bar, but he was no bigger than a junior mint, and without all those chocolatey, luscious calories, oh my God, I must have those calories. Kit Kat and peppermint patty offered to switch it. Well, he would tease me with his hard, dark nugget. But at last, I found them, the Three Musketeers. They wrapped themselves around me with their buttery fingers, their mounds melted in my mouth, not in my hands, and you snickered at my almond joy. All you would say, the seventh heaven will always give me baby. I need my chocolate. I am an addict. I must feed this hunger every single day. How about the Trader's Joe, the dark chocolate with the nuts and the raisins? I need to have my chocolate. I must have that chocolate every day. My brain is screaming, I must have chocolate. I have my chocolate. Thank you.
Keep it going. Sorry about eating my good mug. Yes, that was awesome. Okay, guys, I'm gonna keep this going. I've been blown away so far. This has been awesome. Okay, next up at the stage, to call him a legend is kind of an understatement, though, right? Guys, give it up for the next round of stand-ups and to just to fill the rest of this time with just some legendary performances. And I'm not being sarcastic. These people are unbelievably talented. To start it off, give it up for Adam Kroshus.
Thank you very much. Come on, hug it up. Right there.
Oh.
Go that direction. Keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. For all the entertainers and poets and musicians and chocolate addicts. You know something? Red velvet has replaced chocolate for me. That's the truth. That's an admission. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me empty my pockets here. This is how Pro does it, ladies and gentlemen. He's on stage. He empties his pockets to, the stage is my canvas, man. Football Football season is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Football season, would you agree? Football season? Yes, exactly, it is. Yes, it's sports. Hey, who here breathes oxygen by a round of applause? Hey, all right. Who's wearing clothes tonight? Hey, all right. Football season is upon us. Note how I brought it back to the setup. And I was watching a preseason game recently, okay, and it was the New England Patriots were playing a preseason game. And I knew it was the New England Patriots because they panned across the crowd. And a lot of these fans were wearing these free Tom Brady hats and t-shirts. You ever see these free Tom Brady hats and t-shirts? Yeah, Tom Brady. He's a regular Nelson Mandela, that Tom Brady, you know? Tom Brady's a real victim of oppression, you know, Tom Brady. He and his $375 million are busy being oppressed right now, you know? And that's less money than his wife, okay? This is a man who has sex with Giselle, you know what I mean? He is not oppressed. Well, they're married. They probably don't have sex anymore. But at one time, oh, Tommy, I love you, Tommy. You're so handsome, Tommy, with your dimpled chin. Oh, Tom. Oh, lead us to the promised land, Tommy. I'm from Revere, Mass. My life isn't very good, Tom. Oh, Tom. Is there anyone more annoying than a Boston sports fan? The long-suffering Boston sports fan with their 17 Boston Celtics championships, you know? Oh, and Bill Russell and John Havlicek. Havlicek stole the ball. Havlicek stole the ball. Oh, you hit it over the monster. And Bobby Orr. Oh, the long-suffering Boston sports fan. Oh, Buckner, you broke my heart, Buckner. Little did I know, 20 years later, we win 3 World Series championships. Oh, Buckner! And they live by a code in Southie. Oh, they live by... Thank you, Matt Affleck and Ben Damon, for exposing the code to us, you know? The code of South Boston. Hey, even Whitey Bulger used to help old ladies cross the street. I mean, he lived by the code. I got a name for your code in Boston. It's called assholism. That's actually the name. That's actually punchline. So, I need the microphone stand for this one. You know, because I just need it. I need the one. I need it for this one. So, I got a favor to ask. Of you millennial hipster men out there right now. I've got a.
Hey, fuck you.
Yes, exactly. I actually respected you saying that. It wasn't passive aggressive like your entire generation. So I got a favor to ask. In between these two events that define you and your entire generation, do this one favor for me, okay? In between brewing your latest IPA, you know, with its goofy name, Apocalypse Cow, you know, or Lassie's Yellow Snow, okay? In between that, and opening up your gourmet mustard / pickling company, okay? Do this one favor for me, okay? Don't give up your sense of entitlement. I know not to dream the impossible. Do this one favor for me. Why don't you go out and buy a razor and shave, okay? I mean, what are we living in? Post-Civil War America right now? I mean, did you help lead Pickett's charge? I mean, I'm gonna keep yelling louder until you shut up on that table, okay? Please do us all a favor and go outside with your conversation, please. Please. I'm talking to you. I can't see you because it's pitch black out there, but it's distracting to people, okay? Go out and buy a razor and shave, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, perhaps you like looking like an 18th century blacksmith, you know, pounding out your millennial rage and sadness on an anvil of pretense, you know? What's wrong? Am I hating on you? Oh God, I need to listen to the droning beats of DJ Von Scratch a lot and the short attention spans, you know? Listen, in case you can't read in between the lines, I don't like you or your entire generation. I mean, how much backstory on Wolverine do you millennial nerd turds require, you know? I mean, your generation's demands for comic book movies are more aggressive than my act. You know, I mean, it's just... Are you that not empowered in your life to project into the foibles of Ant-Man or something? What is going on? And you love your irony. Oh, God, you love your irony. You know, my ironic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle t-shirt this, and my ugly, ironic Christmas sweater that. You know, it's... Sorry, I said Christmas sweater and not holiday sweater. I guess that makes me an Islamophobic, anti-Semitic cross burner. You know what? You're listening.
Yeah!
Oh, I'm gonna go on Facebook right now. Oh, I can't be direct with anyone, but I'll insult you horribly on Facebook. Oh, my entire self-worth is my online identity. How do you actually communicate with a person and look them in the eye? Oh. It means nothing when you say that. Another thing I can't stand about your generation, okay? Your whole warped and distorted impressions of the 1980s are so off the mark. They're not even close to the truth, you know? And I should know. I graduated from high school in 1987. I'm 48 years old. I look good. So, I think I make a good Cialis actor, you know? I got a little mileage in it anyway. There's this whole perception like, hey man, the 1980s were nothing but a good time back then, you know? It was like, life was a triple bill of Poison, Cinderella, and Def Leppard, man. It was so much fun, you know? Hey, forget about the AIDS, you know? Do you have any idea what a colossal wet blanket it was when the AIDS hit the scene? You know, I'm a teenager in the 80s, you know? I've got one of those boners. It was like just throbbing teenage boners. 80% of the day I had a boner, you know? If I'm a boner, a Cub Scout can do chin-ups on in order to become a weeblo, you know? I call them weeblo boners. That's how I literally had a hard on 80% of the fucking day. You know, but then the Grim Reaper makes an appearance in the bedroom. It was a colossal wet blanket, you know? But hey, man, it was the 1980s. It was way before politics got sick. You're giving me the light already? This masterful set that I'm doing right now? How dare you? Mike, I went to his going away party. It was such an asshole. Hey, it was way before September 11th, man. The 80s were so much fun, man. It was so light and cool. Forget about the Cold War, you know? People were so freaked out by nuclear war. This whole North Korea thing is like a gnat on a rhinoceros's ass to me. I lived through the Cold War, you know? This whole, oh my God, people were so freaked out by nuclear war back in the 1980s. There was a made-for-TV movie called The Day After, okay? It came out on November 20th, 1983. I remember I was freaked out by it. People were so freaked out. 100 million people watched a made-for-TV movie. 100 million people! Those are like Charlie bit my finger numbers or something. You know what I mean? It's just...
Steve Gutenberg.
Steve Gutenberg was in it. Jo Beth Williams, she was hot, you know? Jo Beth Williams, Jason Robards was in it. Molly Ringwald had a cameo too. I remember the entire cast that I had, right? 100 million, I mean, the 80s, you know. The 80s, you know. No, I gotta wrap this up, man. It was a weird set. Kind of good, kind of weird, got angry, but it was okay. Sort of people were talking, and they shut up, and then they came back again, and they started talking some more. They probably don't even know I'm talking about them. So, anyway, I'm Adam Kroshus. You've been a very good audience. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Adam.
Welcome up the MC right now.
Hi, I'm here. Dude, I don't think about the 80s that much, though, to be It's not really on my radar what happened back then, except for the Reagan mess that we are currently living through. So just FYI, like, don't complain too much about the 80s because, like, you didn't do anything about Ronald Reagan. Like, that's your personal fault. Okay, I want to bring up our next comic. His name is Mr. Ed Towns. Thank you so much, Ed. Keep it going, everybody. All right. Ed, thank you so much.
One more time for your motivational speaker for tonight, Adam Kroshus. Keep you guys alive and well. How you guys doing, huh? Got some life in you still? Awesome. Well, racism made a comeback recently, huh? You know? That's incredible. That's one of the greatest comebacks of all time. It's the Patriots in the Super Bowl, Reggie Miller versus the New York Knicks in 1994, and racism. That's the three greatest comebacks of all time. Got all my white friends tripping. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's not your fault. It's okay. When you see your black friend, no need to apologize. I had my buddy come and say, oh, Ed, I'm sorry about what happened in Charlottesville. I'm like, dude, you weren't there. Why the fuck do I give a shit? He's like, no, man, it ain't that, man. I gotta tell you something, please, man. You know me, I'm a good guy, but I don't like the movie Get Out, man. You know? Am I a bad person? I'm like, no, you're not. You just don't relate to it. That movie wasn't for you. That movie was for me. Just like I don't relate to Friday the 13th because niggas don't go camping, right? You don't relate to Get Out. It's the same fucking situation. Although my uptake in white pussy has increased. Yes, we're going there, white ladies. I gotta tell you something. It's been good. Every time something bad happens to black people, like in the news, I just go to Wicker Park and look sad as hell. That's what I do. Ed, what's the matter? Trayvon Martin? Okay, let me suck this segregation out you know what I'm saying? Come get some oppression pussy real quick. You know, it's just fucking never fails. You guys don't like oppression pussy? Don't give a fuck, I love it, you know what I'm saying? If I don't fuck these white girls, ladies and gentlemen, systematic racism wins. I'm not about that life, you know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King. I lost everyone right here about that shit. We'll see next week, we'll see what happens. I gotta tell you, with all this Trump shit in office, the one thing that annoyed me the most was Kathy Griffin. You know, out of all this shit, she bugged me the most. She was stunned that she lost her job at CNN holding the severed head of the president. What the fuck? How dumb can you be? If I work at fucking Quiznos, I can't upload a photo of me jerking off to a Subway sandwich. That's not gonna work. My pastrami days are done. Pack my shit up, I'm done. Can you believe that photo came out? I can't believe we even saw that photo. All the level of shit she had to go through. She came up with the idea. She had to call some props guy that got laid off from Walking Dead to make the fucking head. She called her social media person, her makeup artist, her photographer. Not one of them pieces of shit sat to DC and go like, you sure you want to do this shit, nigga? Like, I see the movies you have not been cast in, Kathy. You got everything to lose here. I get it, man. We all want Trump out of office, right?
Yeah.
Don't sound so depressed about it. I'm telling you about this. We're going about it the wrong way. The grab by the pussy shit's not going to work. The whole Comey interview didn't work. This whole Charlottesville shit's not going to work. You know how to destroy a white man's legacy? All you got to do is just get him to say nigga one time on tape. That's it. That's it. One person's on board. The rest of you guys don't understand. The word nigga has wiped out more white men than D-Day at Normandy Beach. It's a fucking massacre. That is the atomic bomb to white men. Just look at the track record, right? Look at the track record. Paula Deen couldn't get away with saying nigga. She made food exclusively for niggas, and we didn't let that shit slide. You know what I'm saying? Pack up your spatula, put away your Easy Bake Oven. You're done, Paula. You're finished. You're finished, Paula. Hulk Hogan, the great American hero, is on the record of being a racist and lost his job. which is very American of him, honestly, if you think about it. I don't like the fact that Hogan lost his job. Yeah, I said it. As a man, I don't like that shit. As a black man, fuck him. But as a man, I get it. I get it. If you guys don't know what happened, the reason why Hulk Hogan lost his job, dancing around with Speedos on a Monday night, he got caught saying that racist shit after he had sex in a sex tape. That's entrapment. That's not fair. I don't know about any dude in here, but after I come, I'm relaxed. I'm not liable for what comes out my mouth. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I bust that nut, I'm just like, oh shit! I tell you, I feel a certain way about Korean people. I don't know, they fucking bugging me. You know what I'm saying? Just fucking. The woman ain't exactly on my side yet. So tell me, ladies, tell me if you heard this shit after a dude had sex with you. Oh, fuck! Whew, I think I love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all say dumb shit after he bust that nut, you know? I'll give it up for me, guys. I am officially 5 weeks clean. Thank you. Yeah, 5 weeks clean off of internet porn. I had to kick that shit the fuck out. I want to get excited for a titty again. You guys remember that shit? Remember staying up watching the HBO movie you shouldn't be watching, and a titty pops out, like, I'll never forget this movie for the rest of my life. Players Club, 1998. I still remember that shit. Now I can't come unless a dude's getting kicked in the nuts repeatedly. It's a slippery slope. I'm gonna tell you this real story. Judge me if you want to. I already judged myself. This is when I came to this epiphany after kicked internet porn. I was at a show, sitting at a bar after a show. This girl came up to me. She says, hey, I really like your set. Let me buy you a drink. We start chatting back and forth. She's into me, which is stunning because I look like a bootleg Cornel West. You know what I'm saying? Like all these versions of Cornel West, if you will. What I'm saying is I'm easily not the most fuckable person in the room. This girl chose me at this moment. We go back to her place because it's kind of hard to fuck on my futon, right? We start making coitus. Trying to keep it clean for you guys. Then I asked if I can come on her face. No way to keep that clean. It gets worse, sweetheart. Buckle in. She says, I don't do that. The first thought in my piece of shit, Pornhub infested head was, this stuck up motherfucker. You have got to be kidding me. Susan on Baby Bus does this all the time. What's her problem with shit? That came from internet porn. That's all it is. It normalized that shit. So I can't look at it no more because there's nothing normal in internet porn. There's no category called relatable on RedTube. Spoiler alert. There's no porn with a girl in the house coat jerking a guy off screaming, hurry up, I gotta fold the clothes. It doesn't exist. I looked, it doesn't exist. So I'm going old school, you know? Jet Beauty of the Week, the JCPenney bra catalog, my friend's Facebook profile pictures, you know? No one liked that shit at all. You know who hates that shit? My friends. I had a homegirl come up to me and said, Ed, you can't jerk off to me. We're damn near best friends. I had to tell her, look, I've jerked off extended cousins before. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no one above a dick beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to beat my dick, I'm like Oprah. You get a dick beat. You get a dick beat. Ian, sir, you get a dick beat. Everyone gets a dick beat. Yeah. Thank you, sir. We're jerking off later tonight, all right? That's my time. Let's give your host back on stage for this time. Thank you, Mike, for having me, brother.
Keep it going for that time. All right, guys. Next up to the stage, give it up for another amazing comic, Claire Swanson, everybody.
That was like super uncomfortable how much Ed was flirting with me during that set. I was like, he's really going for it. I actually have a boyfriend and he is real. People have met him. So, no, he's real and they also acknowledge his existence and it's nice. I think the thing I like most about my boyfriend is that he likes me more than I like him, and I really like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think the only thing I don't like about my boyfriend is how much he sweats. He's like a big sweater. And that's fine. Like, but the only time it really kind of bothers me is like, anytime he wants to have sex, all I can think is like, I don't have time to do laundry tomorrow. Did you bring your tarp if you have a tarp? No, I mean, did you bring your sex tarp? I'll sex on your tarp. He has a vasectomy, so he doesn't have to worry about condoms. Just get that tarp, you know? It's a one purchase, you know? He has a vasectomy, which is really nice. I think it's like makes that time of the month, even if it's a couple days late, I'm like, oh, no big deal. Just means I have to be a lot more careful when I cheat. No, don't you have some Asian, like, further down there? Okay. It's a 1 in 1,000 chance, so it could still happen. Okay. You guys you all love my boyfriend? You're like, she cheats on her boyfriend? I don't. I have no sex drive. I do. But when you have like a boyfriend that's always going for it, you're always, it's almost like the mean girl in me comes out and I'm just like, no, you know, but like I want it too, but there's also just part of me that's like, you want it too, you know, like you just, okay. It's nice to be wanted. Because I've been with a lot of dudes where like I'm on the other end. You know, I'm the girl that's like, I stopped hooking up with guys when I realized you can't suck self-worth out of a dick.
Hey.
You can't. Okay. Man, if you could, my self-esteem would be through the roof. You know, like I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't talk to any of you. Know what I mean? Like I would. People would be throwing things at me. They'd be like, "Oh, you deserve this. Look at you." Some of these guys that I've hooked up with, this like I one time was sleeping in a guy's bed for a couple months. We were. Because I love a bed. I'll sleep in anyone's bed, you know? I slept in 2 beds in one day, and I love them, and I don't care who knows. But we were, like, casually dating, and I was sleeping in his bed, and I woke up, and I had bites on my body, and they weren't the good kind. They were the bed bug kind. Yeah, and I gave him this weird ultimatum. I was like, I'll stick around, and I'll be with you. This isn't that bad. It was. But I was like, this isn't that bad. Like, you get over it. But you gotta let me call you my boyfriend so my mom doesn't think I'm gay anymore. And he said, no, I don't want anything serious. Like, bed bugs are serious, right? It's a serious fucking relationship we got into, and your bugs in your bed that bit me. Who are you? How does he have that self-esteem, you know? Like, you should be dragging me to Jared's and proposing out of shame, right? I don't want anything serious. You're sleeping with bugs and you're 30. Like, how can you I don't want anything serious. Who the fuck are you? I don't want anything serious. What does that even mean? I don't want anything serious. Like, I don't want to do our taxes and listen to Yanni. I just want to do what we're doing, but let's label it I'm 30, you know? I made some bad choices. Like I one time hooked up with a guy after a Sublime concert because I know how to party. The 90s are not dead. And I hooked up with him and he was mediocre at best. And then the next morning, the very first thing he texted me after we had sex was, will you make me a sandwich? And I think it was supposed to be a joke, but like it's the morning and you were just in me, like I don't. I want you to be like, oh my God, I'm so lucky to have been in you, thank you so much. I don't want to be like, will you make me a sandwich? So I said, no, I'm good. And he sent back a message, what are you, a feminist? And I said, oh, that term that means I want to be treated equally, you caught me. One of those dumb bitches that wants equal pay. But please open doors for me, still my wrists are weak. But otherwise, I'm a feminine. Don't draft me, but otherwise, I don't want to be on the front line. But otherwise, total feminist. And I then sent him a message and I was like, I'm good, take care, wish you well. And he sent back a message that he said, I feel like a victim of a one-night stand. Because I didn't want to hook up with him again. But like, first of all, I didn't sign a contract, right? We weren't coming home from the Sublime concert and he had me like, you guaranteed a 5-night run and okay. We do green light you for an infinite. Who are you? How do these guys have this self-esteem to be like, I was in there once and I deserve it again? Like, who are you? Like, it's the first time you hook up with someone that's a job interview, right? You gotta do your best so that you're called back from our work. You can't do a half-ass showing and be like, I don't get it. Of course you get it. You breathe like a pug. At one point you were breathing like a pug. You get it, right? Like, you went and then act like nothing's wrong. Like, of course you're not getting the job. He also had like the worst game. Like, at one point he was like, can I have a blowjob? Guess what? I never want to have to be like, oh yeah, you can have a blowjob. You know what I mean? Like, this is the whole experience a transaction, right? Like, I never want to, no, like, I want to be tricked into it, right? Right, I want to be mid-blowjob and be like, oh, this isn't as bad as I thought. Okay, well, all right, here we are. Like, push my head down. If I buck up, that's a no. He said he's a victim of a one-night stand. Victim, that's such a bold word to use, right? He said he's a victim. Well, like, there's no relief fund for you, right? There's no viral campaign for the guy that can't get laid twice. I'm a victim. No, you're not. Like, you could go up to Hurricane Katrina survivor and be like, I get it, yeah. You lost your home, my dick lusted, so we're suffering. Right? Like a weird inbreed there. Okay, moving on. Here's the big punchline. Please give it up for me. I need this so bad. No, you've heard the guys I've been with. Please, I need this. And here's the end of the joke. This is a momentum-based joke, so this is good that I took time out to kill the momentum, because I want to work for any of these schmucks that are no, okay. Here we go, and he said he's a victim of a one-night stand. That's like saying you're a victim of a really good barbecue, right? That's like saying, I want to go back to that barbecue. Why can't I go back to that barbecue? But we fucking stoked you into a barbecue, right? Because there's men out there that pay for barbecues, and you just got a free barbecue. I'm a victim. I watched a movie about a guy that didn't get to go to a barbecue till he was 40. All right, you guys, thank you so much.
Oh, keep it going. Keep it going. Okay. All right, guys. Last but not least, give it up for the incomparable Ray Holleb, everybody.
All right, give it up for Mike Epiphany over there.
Yeah, there you go.
Mike Epiphany. He's the guy always coming up with shit, but always figuring stuff out. That's why they call him Mike Epiphany. That's why they named him that at birth. So he came out and said, hey. So that was all he knew, so they were like, hey, I think he had an epiphany. All right, that's retarded. Should never start out with, hey, let's get it going here. So hey, I performed for the troops in Afghanistan. Performed for the troops in Afghanistan, yeah. But the captain was heckling me during my entire Spider-Man impression. Heckling me during the entire impression. I was doing my thing, and the captain was like, "Hey, get out of that fucking minefield, you idiot! What is that idiot in that Spider-Man costume doing in that fucking minefield? Yeah, I don't think he should be in there. That's a fucking minefield. Is he in a fucking Spider-Man suit right now? Jumping around?" Anybody know? Looks like it. But I had the perfect comeback. I had the perfect comeback to that heckle. I stepped on a landmine, which detonated and sent me 47 feet in the air. And I landed on another landmine, which detonated and sent me 34 feet in the other direction onto another landmine that detonated and sent me 57 feet in the other way, and I landed in a big pile of dirt. And I got a standing ovation. Got a standing ovation. Yeah. From the Taliban. So that worked out well. I got an HIV test recently. I got an HIV test, and they said that I would get the results back within 10 days. Within 10 days, I would get the results. If I got a phone call, it would be bad news. They would say, you got the disease. And if I didn't get a phone call in 10 days, I was all right. So for the past 10 days, every time I would get a phone call from a phone number I didn't recognize, I would pick up the phone and say, do I have AIDS? Do I have AIDS? Do I have full-blown AIDS? What's happening? Who is this? Full-blown AIDS? Do I got it? What's going on here? Do I have full-blown AIDS? Anyone know? Full-blown AIDS. Is this about the AIDS? And usually the person on the other end of the line would say, I don't know. This is your mother, and why don't you call more often? And I'd say, Jesus, get up the fucking line, Mom. I'm waiting for my AIDS. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. AIDS, I guess. I love AIDS. Wait. I don't love AIDS. Scratch that from the record. Never mind. It was all new. My cousin got married. But she got upset with me for dancing at the wedding. But Here Comes the Bride is my favorite song. So I don't know what her problem was. I took my nephew horseback riding, and he fell off his horse. His neck was broken. He's a quadriplegic. Yeah, and after it happened, my family kept calling me up and saying, Ray, how could you have put your quadriplegic nephew on the back of a horse? And I just kept saying, with a lot of rope. You just gotta rope him up there, put the duct tape, get it going, and put him That's exactly what I said to him. They were like, what? I was like, oh, shit. Okay, this is going good. Don't need that. Don't need notes. Professional. Hey, a great invention was the flame retardant suit. You have to admit, a great invention was the flame retardant suit. Not such a great invention was the retarded flame suit. That was not as good. Hey, do you see that guy running down the street in the helmet engulfed in flames? Yeah, what about him? I made the suit that he's wearing. That's completely retarded. Yeah, it's a retarded flame suit. What do you think about it? That's my retarded flame suit, Joe. Hope you all liked it. Seems like you did. But I don't even know it. Whatever they tell you at the company, what the fuck am I doing? Hey, did you know that birds do not need wind to fly? Birds don't need wind to fly. Birds can fly without the need of wind. So when Bette Midler sang that song, "You Are the Wind Beneath My Wings," what she was really saying is, I don't need you. I don't need you, and I am a bird. So Bette Midler was some kind of weird fucking bird. We look back on that song and get the real deal on that. Hey, do you know Prince? The artist Prince, he had a big hit in 1983 with "Party Like It's 1999." And in 1999, he had a major flop with "Boogie Like It's September 11th, 2001." Totally flopped on that baby. Big flop, and everybody knows that. Hey, last week my endoventricular said to me, "I don't know what I do." I don't know what he does either. But I pay him a shitload to do his thing. All right. Hey, on my way here, I stopped at a CVS. And there was a homeless guy. And he said, "Hey man, can you spare some change on the way out?" And I said, "If there's no other way out, you got it." And I crawled out through the ventilation system. Got the hell out of there. And he was right there waiting for me when I crawled out, and had to give him like 32 cents. All right. I don't know if there's nobody here or I'm just doing real good or something. I feel bad for shouting at a homeless person. Does it look like I'm made out of money? You know, because I woke him up just to get his opinion on my new money suit. Just going to see what he thought about my money suit. I live above a bar, and I don't like it. Not because of the people or the drinking or the noise, but just living on a roof. Oh my God! Roof living is not my favorite thing. I am an alcoholic, though. I'll speed through these last 12 to 22 jokes that I have. I am an alcoholic. I remember the first time I stood up in a meeting and said, "I'm an alcoholic," because it was a business meeting and I was immediately fired from that. I found out recently I live in Boys Town. I live in Boys Town, full of the gay. Full of all them gays. Nice gay people that are great and everybody loves them and they're gay. Don't know what's happening in my brain right now. But anyway, I live in Boys Town. I found this out because I went to an AA meeting right near my house, and I was at the meeting, and everyone in the circle looked like they might be gay. I was looking around the circle, and I thought they all might look like they might be gay. Like I was looking around like gay, maybe, definitely gay, 100% gay, not sure, definitely gay, for sure gay, gayest person I've ever seen, super gay, definitely gay. And this guy was like, hey, why are you saying that out loud? And I was like, what? What? Sometimes that works. All right, I'll end on me blowing my head off. That's my big closer usually, and it's only worked a couple of times. Fuck. Am I about done, or should I end with one biggie? How about done?
No, I'm with the biggie.
And with a biggie. What do you guys want to hear? Something about the movie The Ring? Something current, like the movie The Ring? Or something more current about the serial killer John Wayne Gacy? Two choices. Anyone?
John Wayne Gacy.
What?
John Wayne Gacy.
All right, I'll have to do both. The Ring? All right. So I both. I'm not gonna do both. I rented the Ring recently. Rented the Ring, and I put the VHS copy in the player, and it was static, just complete static. Didn't work at all. Static. And 10 minutes later, I got a phone call, and the voice on the other line was like, "You will die in 7 days." And I was like, "Wait, are you talking about business days or regular days? What are you talking about? What's going on?" But he hung up the phone. So I star 69 the guy, and he picked up the phone. I said, "Hi, this is Ray." He was like, "Oh yeah, hey Ray, how's it going?" I was like, "So you said I'm gonna die in 7 days?" And he was like, "Yeah, in 7 days a Japanese ghost gonna crawl out of your television set and murder you." I don't know why he talked like that, but he did. And I said, "But I don't have a television set." And he was like, "Oh no, not good, no." He was like, do you have an iPad?" I was like, "No, I don't." He was like, "Oh God. All right, well, what do you have?" I was like, "Well, I got a Macintosh PowerBook G4. He was like, "Does it have an Intel processor?" I was like, "No, it doesn't." He was like, No, not good. Holy fucking shit. My God. No Intel processor on that? He said on the phone? I said, "No." He's like, fucking shit, man. Fucking balls. Shit on a fucking stick, man. Fuck. Bet you wish I did the Joe Gacy did, right? Oh shit. No. You're telling me this? Now? I said, "Okay, so when am I gonna die?" He was like, "I don't know, just forget I called." Shouldn't have gone so long on the nose there. And I said, "Hey, you want to hang out sometime?" He's like, "No, I got phone calls to make." All right, so anyway, John Wayne Gacy was a serial killer. And he butt fucked and murdered a bunch of folks. I'm not going to do this. I'm just super fucking depressed right now.
It's cool.
No, I'm not. I'm really happy. Ed, do you have my gun? Good. Load it up. Load that baby up. Because we are on DEFCON 5 here.
All right.
Ready to go on the next joke. What is it? Police? Are the police here?
No, that's
it's a
Chicago.
riff. I did a riff on the.
Woo!
Hey, what's that woo for? I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know.
Yep, no one knows what you're doing. Everybody's waiting and listening and laughing. That's what I see going on. But this is a good crowd that everybody's here listening. No, you're welcome. You're welcome on that one. Yep. So I'll just mosey on out here and do some crowd work. How you doing, Mike? How you doing, Mike? Are you having a good birthday?
I'm having a great birthday.
Great.
Thank you.
What is it? What are you, 40? 40 today? You're moving out of your parents' bedroom? Is that what this is? Is that what this occasion is? Mike Epiphany is moving out of his parents' bedroom, everybody. his 40th birthday. So anyway, John Wayne Gacy, as I was talking about, he butt fucked everybody in his life. Everybody in John Wayne Gacy's life, he butt fucked and murdered.
Okay.
Okay, thanks everybody. That's
All right, thank you, Ray. Thank you. Okay, one last thing. I did say this was going to be a roast tonight. So for our last act, I really want you guys to put your hands together. Come on, everybody. Keep it going. Keep it going. Here we go. It's your roast. I guess of honor. Let's bring up his good friend, Ian Cox. Come on up to the stage. Come on up. Come on up. Final act of the night. If he's in the fucking shitter, I will really kick someone in the butt.
Make sure you wash it.
Wow, did you? Straight from the poop hole. Ian Cox, everyone. Didn't have time to wash his hands, so touch his microphone.
Yeah.
Mike, you're a bad person. And I mean this when I say it. No one is going to miss you when you're gone. I'd like to thank the cast of Eat the Rich and everybody who's listening, every 17 of you who listened to Eat the Rich during its run. Now, Mike, you moved to Los Angeles, and I'm extremely happy for you. I am. Because ever since I've known you, you've gone out there and you said, I want to be a screenwriter. I want to actually go out there and I want to write the stories that bring people to the screen. You want to be the television, you want to be the film equivalent, you want to be the person that everyone's going to reference when they meet together on a Monday and go, well, he wrote that and it was incredible. But I just want to get to something. You're an incredibly petty individual.
That's true. That's true.
You're the type of person that, yes, we've all met, we're just not that happy we've met. I will just bring my personal experience. The very first time I met this man, Oh, Jesus, yes.
I know the story.
The very first time I met Mike.
Why?
He introduced, Sean Selbach introduced me. He said, this is my best friend in the world. This is Mike. I said, good to meet you. And Mike said, it's very good to meet you. He shook my hand. We had a great time.
What?
But the thing of Mike Epifani is that he's just a little bit too concerned about the minutia of life. I'm not going to call Mike Epifani an alcoholic. I'm not going to stand up here and say that Mike cares way too much about the benefits of alcohol than the negative aspect of alcohol. But we did go to a Beach Boys concert together. There were only 2 beers available, and they were both the exact same alcohol content. And he actually pestered the individual who was selling beer and said, so what is a higher alcohol content for the money? Is it Miller Lite or is it Leinenkugel Summer Shandy? Mike, please. Mike Epifani is extremely passionate about the world of cinema. He is someone who could watch a film, and when every other film critic is going to just lay down their life claiming it's the best film of all time, Mike will actually take a critical eye to it. He'll say, listen, I get it, the first time around, you might be really blown away by it all. You might be stunned. You might actually have to sit there and contemplate every single film of that same quality. You say, wow, does that actually hold a candle to everything I've seen? But Mike will also really generalize. Mike will say that the best closing song of any movie he's ever seen is the Pixies at the end of Fight Club. Like, you tell me there's a better song to ever end a movie of all time. I'm like, you're right, Mike. I guess the Sound of Silence at the end of The Graduate really does not hold the candle to the Pixies at the end of Fight Club. I'm gonna miss him a lot because Mike will be absolutely convinced that he is right, but the first person he's meant to admit he is wrong. But I don't want to let Renee get away with anything tonight.
What?
Because if there's one thing Renee loves to do, it's she wants to be on the front line of social justice. Renee has never heard of Antifa before this week.
That's
Never.
not fucking true.
Never. She can shout, she can claim all she wants. She has never heard of it. Never in her life.
Know about those people.
Never.
They're good people. They're good people.
What I'm going to really miss about Mike, what I'm going to really miss about him, is that he is truly genuine. And despite everything that will make you a little bit perturbed about him, thank you, Rosie. Whisper a little bit quieter next time we have a Going Away podcast. Just a little bit. Just a little. What I'm really best about Mike is that despite all of his shortcomings, I think we can all agree we're all better for knowing him. One last thing, Mike. One of the lasting memories I'll ever have is when you told me you would love to move to England. I said, you want to move to England, Mike? You want to move to some place that's way more expensive than Chicago, a place that does not have nearly the same emphasis on creative writing, screenwriting, playwriting, anything that you actually want to do. And you're like, dude, I never go outside. If the weather in England is that much shittier than Chicago, what do I care? I'm never going outside. Here's to Mike never going outside some other place.
He's actually totally pretty much healthy. I don't think he's had a physical in many years, but that doesn't matter. So he's gonna be fine. But yeah, all right. Thank y'all so much for coming out. We really appreciate it. Please tip your bartender and tune in, watch the video episode of this online. All right. Thanks guys so much. Night.